one of the big issues in football. In fact, you are very excited to talk about what is happening at the Melbourne Football Club. Your good mate Garry, of course, heavily involved in putting together the team that are down there, who find themselves 0-8, another 100-point thrashing at the hands of the Sydney Swans. We've had commentators around the edges suggesting that maybe the wrong decision has been made. David King on Fox Footy. Where is your club at, Garry? Is there any light in the short term for Melbourne?
I'm not laughing at the plight of Melbourne. I'm laughing at him. Well, Duke, you know where they're going. It's tough. They're on the bottom of the AFL ladder, and from all reports, the performance last week was appalling up in Sydney, and I don't think anyone backs away from that. So it's tough, but I don't know what you can do in the short term. You got to shut up, will you?
It's
you got to hang in. You got to hang in.
Be serious.
Serious.
What else has he got to say besides
That's
that?
Right.
No, they're going bloody awful. The coach is no good. In fact, we may as well nail the joint up. I think we've had a good 100 years. We won a flag in 1964, and I reckon that stumps.
Yeah.
Now, do you reckon he's going to say that? Of course he's not.
He might give us an insight into some of the other appointments. David Misson, the fitness coach, unbelievably well regarded. Neil Craig's role. I mean, you put a lot of things in place down there, Garry.
Well,
and it couldn't have been a more disastrous start for a first-up coach. I mean, he's had things thrown at him that no one else ever has had before.
A couple of school children dual captains.
Well, yes, and that is very hard for them, but I am told they are handling it all really well as they possibly can. Look, I think people also anticipated that Melbourne were going to be in for some tough times. So then what you try and do is put the best senior person around him, because he's a first-year coach. The best senior person available at the time, in our opinion, was Neil Craig, who was heavily courted by 4 or 5 clubs. We were able to secure Neil to put
heavily
around Mark.
courted and sacked by the Crows.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Yeah, after 8 years.
Yep, that's right.
That's right. So we all come to an end at some stage, don't we?
We do. I was just saying, heavily courted after he was sacked.
That's right. And
that's all fine, though. That's all fine, but something's not working, though, is it?
No, it's not.
No. So what? Okay, when you look back from that moment that Mark Neal was appointed, Neil Craig came in, and the decisions were made to go down a certain path. When you look back at that now, are you prepared to concede that some decisions weren't the right ones, now that you've seen unfold what you have in the first 8 rounds?
Well, I think when you do things as well as you can, and you devote a lot of time to them, you got to have the strength of your convictions, Damo. And I have.
Could I say, as an acquaintance of yours, I'm very, very proud of the effort you've made down at Melbourne, and I'm with you 100%. I'm standing right behind you, quite a way back, incidentally, but not right behind you.
Okay.
Would you concede then, in this case, Mark Neal being just a career coach and a journeyman, would you concede that Melbourne have by far the worst playing personnel in the competition? You'd have to.
Yes. No, the playing list right now
is the worst personnel playing AFL football in the competition, and why is that?
But Sam, even on that, 1 year ago...
Thank you, Garry.
Just want to jump in. 1 year ago, Melbourne beat Adelaide by nearly 100 points at this time of the season in 2011.
Well, I'm talking about 2012.
No, but not much has changed for either playing.
Yes, no.
Are they the worst playing list, Garry, in the AFL?
That's a really provocative thing, and I'm not going to give you a headline, but it is a list that is at the top end.
Good.
At the very top end, narrow. Now, you watch this side out here today, the Western Bulldogs. Well, you've got to be a bit careful, Sam, because the people off they go. But here, you have a Griffin, and you have a Boyd, and you have a Cooney and a Rob Murphy. They don't have players of that ilk.
David King said during the week that time to cut your losses. You've got the decision wrong with Mark Neal, 8 rounds in. The people in the footy world are talking. This is David King. I'm paraphrasing. Chief, he was on your show. He basically said time to give it away.
Well, it was interesting. He was very very direct with his comments. The fact that they need to take action and take action now, but it was followed up by a number of articles in the papers during the week, Duke, and I think Mike Sheehan wrote one of them, and there were a lot of queries, Gaz, over why a senior coach, a Mark Williams or someone of that ilk wasn't sought out for the role.
We dealt with this too last night, so I'll do it again.
Sorry,
we
we're
dealt
not
with
on the
Ross
footy show
Lyon
last night. We're on Triple M footy tonight.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm repeating myself. I just want to say, opinion articles and opinions of people like David King are all fine. That's what make the footy world go round, and you can't ever have an issue with that, because whether they're right, wrong, or good or bad, then that's in the eye of the beholder. Mike Sheen's article yesterday was factually incorrect on a couple of occasions, and that was disappointing. He alluded to the fact that it was asserted that I'd gone and approached Mick Malthouse as a candidate. Mick said no, but said go and appoint Mark Neal, and said that was the end of the story. That was what Mike's saying. 100% wrong, so that's disappointing for Mike, and that would have been easy to check. That's a phone call. He also said that the story, this is Mike's words, the story was that Ross Lyon was willing to speak to Melbourne and they didn't follow through. And he said that's unforgivable, I think it was his words. Now, Craig Kelly's my manager. He was Ross Lyon's manager at the time. He could have picked the phone up and asked Craig Kelly how many times I rang him and approached him about talking to Ross Lyon.
You know, Chief, this is well documented because Ross Lyon went to Fremantle without anyone knowing.
No, I'm just explaining. It's very well documented.
Why don't you watch the footy show? We watch your shows. You should know all this.
So on a bit late, Sam.
So in the end, Craig Kelly, as his manager, says, yes, I'll let you know when he's right.
Yep.
Then he comes back and says he's not going anywhere. He's going to sign with St Kilda. Right? So I say to Ned, mate, if this is not right, then we want to talk to him. No, he's about to sign. St Kilda are right. It's all ready to go. 4-year deal. So I think I'm on pretty fair ground.
That's fine.
Right, hang on. And then we find out on a Thursday that he signed with Fremantle Footy Club.
Yeah.
So get the message that I sent Ned at the time.
I can understand.
So those two.
Forget the factual pieces of the articles that are wrong.
Well, that's pretty.
Ross Lyon is one.
Pretty things that are wrong.
Pretty important.
What
part
was supposed to be factual. Ross Lyon's one experienced coach. What then made you say, well, let's forget about coaches with senior experience and go for an untried coach?
No, that's not right either. But Rodney Eade was.
I'm asking you what swayed the decision. So you did speak to other experienced coaches and didn't think they were the right fit.
No, your man was courted very heavily, and
6-year offer to Alistair
well
Clarkson.
done to you for getting him across the line. And Rodney and others. So in the end, you got to make a choice, Chieftain. And as I said, there's a bit of rewriting of history going on, and that can happen when things are as bad as this. So as long as we stick to the facts, let's stick to the facts. And then if you don't like the decision, that's fine. But don't think we just threw balls in the air and said,
it's gratuitous pragmatism, Chief, for David King, and I'm not knocking David King, good on him for bringing it up. It's gratuitous pragmatism to say we've made a mistake and let's change midstream now after 9 games. That is just nonsense. Surely that's nonsense.
On that note, we're going to take our first break. Great insight into what's happening at the Melbourne Football Club. No response from the Chief. We're going to come back more of the Foss. He's ready to fire.
To Chief.
Congo to Chief. Statement.
Get on Twitter and have a look at his get-up.
Don't get on
Yes,
Twitter.
get on and have a look.
triplem.com.au. You can get onto the tweet and have a look at the Fox's get up. Damien Barrett all on top of the big stories in AFL football.